Good afternoon, everybody. Today we're going to speak about a topic which is not that complex that it may seem. It is going to be complex object and complex subject. So first of all, I would love to start with some basic grammar notions. You can see an example sentence in your slide. And here I just reminded you some parts of the sentence that will come in handy when we speak about complex object and complex subject. So right now we're gonna speak about these two notions, which is object, like who did the action or who is wanted to do the action, and the subject itself. So the actor of the action, right? So the one who initiates the whole action in the sentence. Let's go. So first of all, we're going to speak about complex object, which is slightly more common and more informal than complex subject, and it is subject verb, object verb. All right, so we have two verbs, two different actions with different actors, right? I want you to go. Here, there is a subject I, which initiates like the whole action. Then we have want you, which is like a simple object, but to go refers to you, right? To the object, and altogether they combine the complex object, right? I want you to go. The action that I do myself, it's want, and the action that I want you is to go. So here we go. Here we have a complex object here. Basically, this is everything that we need to know about complex objects. Right now, what we will focus on is the preposition, the particle to, which is needed in some verbs and which is not required in other verbs. For example, it is pretty common that we use I want you to go, she wants me to help her. So after want, like, prefer, we use to as a particle here. When it comes to think, believe, know, this is completely the same. I believe him to be the most honest person in the world. He considers this plan to be risky, right? Consider his plan. This is the simple object, but to be risky, this is a part of a complex object. Altogether, this plan to be risky is a complex object. At the same time, we have some verbs which require to and do not require to after them. For example, if we use these verbs in the slide without to, which is bare infinitive, it will refer to the completed action. I saw him cross the street. I saw the whole action from the beginning till the end. I saw him cross the street. But if we say I saw him crossing the street, right? So the in form always reminds us that the action was in progress. So I saw him crossing the street. I saw just some part of this progress. I didn't know if he crossed eventually the street or not. This is something to keep in mind in your keyword transformations, in your essays, probably just some details to keep in mind here. So we focused on the verbs that require the particle to after them. Make, let, and have do not need any particle after those. So make, let, have, then object and the base verb, right? So the infinitive. She made me laugh. They let him go. So pretty intuitively comprehensible. But when it comes to grammar, just keep in mind that you do not need to after these verbs particularly. So another set of the verbs that need to after using them is tell, ask, allow, force, invite. As a non-native speaker, I myself sometimes doubt if I need to use particle after allow, for example, because it's like not I would say habitual for me, but yeah, our grammar says that we need to use to after these verbs. She told me to sit down. We allowed them to enter, right? So just something to learn by heart, keep in mind while writing and speaking here. So let us focus on some key takeaways after studying complex object. There are two different actions that are done by the subject and the object, right? I want him to go. I do the action of wanting, and what I want is him to win, right? Two different actions done by different things. Also, something that helps me to memorize this rule is to consider the complex object, right? The part of the complex object that refers to the second action as some additional information about the simple object, about the second doer of the action, right? So I want him to win. To win is some additional information about him. Right now, something that is not very common while studying grammar in schools at universities, because this is, I would say, pretty advanced grammar, which is complex subject. Complex subject is a structure where the subject of the sentence is combined with extra action, right? So here we had some extra and additional information about the object. Here we're going to have some additional extra information about the subject itself. Usually it is expressed by the passive forms, the passive verbs, like it is said to be done, it is believed to have been, happened, and so on. So our basic grammar formula is subject, passive form of the verb, to and another action. So he is said to be rich. He is said, it means that it's complex subject. All right, why do I use complex subjects in my speech? Basically, when it comes to complex subject, that's a formal type of writing and speaking. It is impersonal. We don't know the doer of the action. It is more natural in written English, and I would refer this to essays, proposals, reports, like to formal or semi-formal types of writing and speaking. When it comes to complex subject, that's pretty neutral. I want you to go, or I let him go. This is pretty basic. We can use it in any type of writing or speaking. Also, some more advanced grammar here is that we can use actually continuous forms in the complex subject. She is said to be working now, right? She, it's just basic subject, is said to be working. That's the complex subject with continuous form, which refer us to the progress of the action. All right, so there is even one more form that you can use after to, which is gonna be perfect form, perfect infinitive form, and it is to have and third form of the verb. Let us see the example. He's believed to have stolen the money. This form refers us to the past, right? So somebody stole some amount of money in the past, and right now we believe that he stole some money in the past. He's believed to have stolen the money. So this form, as I've already mentioned, is called perfect infinitive form, and it refers us to the past. The previous continuous form refers us to the progress of the action. After speaking about complex subject, let us summarize some key takeaways. The complex subject combines information about what people think and say with the subject's action, right? So there is additional information about the subject, about the doer of the action. He is believed to be innocent. He is believed, people believe that he is, and he's innocent, right? So there are two actions at the same time done by different people here in the sentence. All right, so thank you very much for your attention. That was basically, there is something to know about complex subject and complex subject. Please post your questions down below in the comments, and I'm going to post some great exercises for your practice. Thank you very much and stay tuned. Bye-bye.